Hello and welcome back to the East Daily Download here on Eastern North Carolina CW. My name is Mark. I'll be your tour guide on this adventure across the East. And today we are again at the WNCT studios showing you a little behind the scenes. Really important to making the show a reality is you, the viewer. If you want to watch the show at any point in time, just go to WNCT.com, go to the East Daily Download tab, and then you can watch any of the stories from the show that you like. You can also find us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Use the hashtag EastDailyDownload. Now, coming up today on this episode, we have a behind-the-scenes look at the new CW show Nancy Drew. Also, we're going to go to the Umbrella Market in Uptown Greenville to meet some local business. And we're going to tell you about some dangers and warning signs of robocalls. Right now, we're about to go to Tarboro for a brand new Down Eats. So join me. Let's go.
My middle name is Douglas, but my daddy was Doug, name was Doug, and it makes me feel proud that I'm doing something that he started and Mama started together.
I've been eating here at Doug's House for about 28 years.
What helps us a lot is we cook fresh every day, and we stay open from 10 in the morning to 9 at night, but everything's fresh all the way down to the vegetables.
I've been working here on and off since I turned 16. I think every youngin' eats chicken legs. So, I mean, that was probably my favorite.
Fried chicken is a recipe my dad come up with. When you bite into it, you already taste the flavor and the seasonings trapped inside of it, and it's just good. But when you sell something, you got to buy the best they offer. If you expect to have the best, you got to buy the best.
In 28 years, like I said, I've never left this restaurant hungry.
Most of our customers know us and we know them. So it's an everyday thing. We know nobody can read their mind when they walk in the door what they want, you know.
You know, you can get on to bigger and better businesses, but you really don't see a whole lot of your family doing it. Just hanging around Daddy, getting on his nerves.
One thing was like the hush puppies we got that looked like onion rings, but the reason he did it, he told me, he said he didn't have enough money to buy a hush puppy machine. He used what was in the building. And we've stuck with it for 40-some years now.
We live in Wilson, and we come all the way back to Nashville just to eat at Doug's House.
The best pay I've ever had is earning more friends, you know.
I started tasting other food, man, shrimp and seafood. Good night.
We've gained a lot of customers over our seafood because we've expanded that business. Really around this area, there's not really a good seafood place to go to.
I think the food's good. I mean, you can tell looking at me. I ain't skinny.
I love to see somebody that's a little bit lost when they come in the door because I get to play with them a little bit. And I'll cut up with them, and they'll loosen right up.
I want to learn as much as I can because, I mean, you ain't promised tomorrow, so.
I wish my dad could have seen me take it over. That's it.
Now downloading Tech Beat Tuesday.
There's no disagreement. There's no political difference here.
None whatsoever. Robocalls are not just an annoyance that every single American feels several times a day. They can be a real problem for the people who do pick up the phone and sometimes fall victim to those kinds of scams.
I think it is an extremely important issue. We feel pressure externally, we feel pressure and responsibility internally, and we want to rise to it.
Do you think you're going to be able to fix it, though? I mean, what they're doing is illegal. Much of it comes from overseas. How do you even stop that?
So today, announcing Operation Call It Quits is part of the solution to the problem. It is not the whole of the solution. It's going to take engagement from industry. It's going to take technological development. It's going to take engagement from consumers, which we at the FTC also try to do. And the hope is, through all of these combined efforts, we can help push back.
Our job at the FTC is to enforce the law that we have, and that is the thing that I think we are very, very actively focused on doing here.
When there's a crackdown or an enforcement action, you see fewer robocalls from the people who were cracked down on. They usually stop. The challenge is they're replaced by someone else who often does the same scam.
It often feels like whack-a-mole for us, but when we whack-a-mole, we are stopping a substantial number of cases of a number of unwanted calls, and that's important to me.
Hello and welcome back to the East Daily Download. Right now we're in the WNCT and Eastern North Carolina CW Master Control. This room is where all the signals go before they reach your TV. So it's a really important room that carries a lot of really important information. Speaking of important information, coming up shortly we have the behind the scenes look at the new CW show, Nancy Drew. But first, let's head to Uptown Greenville to interview the owners and proprietors of Tip of the Cap mushrooms.
Hey, my name's Timothy Zacharopoulos, and we have Tip of the Cap mushrooms, and we harvest wild mushrooms and we grow mushrooms and we sell them at places like the Umbrella Market here in Greenville, North Carolina. And some of the mushrooms that we harvest in the wild is chaga mushrooms, so it's good because it gives you energy and we make a coffee from it. We also grow cordyceps mushrooms, which in the wild grow on insects, and we grow them on rice, and they're very medicinal Eastern medicine. And we also do extracts where we extract lion's mane mushrooms, which is a medicinal mushroom. We've been doing this for about 2 years. We started growing oyster mushrooms in the backyard basically on wheat straw and selling them to local restaurants. I went to ECU and I got my degree in biology, a BS in biology, and when I was doing one of my internships, I started finding all these cool mushrooms and taking pictures of them and just posting them online, and people started offering me money to just send them to them. Right now, we probably have about 5 mushrooms that we're really growing, and we have cultures for probably 30 different ones that we experiment with and just try to grow different ones. Well, some of these wild mushrooms, they're only out for 2 or 3 weeks out of the year, and we'll go out. We've had days where we went out and harvested over 100 pounds of mushrooms in a day, and you'll go out the next week and there's nothing, they're all gone because they don't last that long. They're very seasonal. The chaga mushrooms, they'll grow on birch trees and they pull the benylinic acid from the tree, and that just gives you energy, and so we just make a coffee from it so you can drink it and have energy. The main part is it takes a really long time for these chaga to grow on the tree. It takes a couple years for them to mature enough for us to harvest them. We do forays, so we will take people out and show them what mushrooms they can pick, which mushrooms are culinary or medicinal, or which mushrooms are poisonous. So we have Tip of the Cap mushrooms on Facebook, but we also run Eastern North Carolina Mushroom Group on Facebook, and we also run Greenville, North Carolina Mushroom Group on Facebook. Our products can be found mostly on Etsy, and we have a Instagram account. If they're worth money, then I'm interested in them, then they're worth to grow. People really like to have local mushrooms.
Just because it's summer doesn't mean the kids need to stop learning. At a time for science, students are incorporating fun and robots. With a combination of designing, problem solving, and Legos, the young scientists at the Lego Robotics Camp end goal is creating a robot. With 3 camps at the Greenville location for different ages, the Lego Robotics Camp is for rising 5th through 8th graders. There's a spike in female participation at this year's camp, after partnering with social media movement First Like a Girl. The goal is to increase female interest in STEM, or science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Lead mentor for the Pit Pirate Robotics, Anne McClung, is thrilled to see young women taking charge in this field.
We really are pushing to have females come out and say they can do it. And this year we have noticed that almost 50% of this year's FLL camp is females, and we're really excited about that. We want to see that growing movement, and that is our big push.
First like a girl!
At the end of each camp, students get to showcase what they've created during their week of camp. Even the parents get to come and look at what their kids have made. The kids get to graduate and even get a certificate of completion. For more on this story, please go to WNCT.com and click Online Originals. In Greenville, Madeline Ashley, 9 on your side.
Kelly Clarkson Show. Too much? Little much? That's cute. No, I'm gonna take the cupcake.
The Kelly Clarkson Show. Coming this fall to WNCT 9 on your side.
Hello and welcome back to the East Daily Download here on Eastern North Carolina CW. Again, we are in the Master Control Facility at the station, giving you a little behind the scenes look, taking you inside the place, showing you the technology, lots of cables and lots of cords. Now, let me tell you this, WNCT.com, very important. Go there, go to the East Daily Download tab, and you can watch any of the stories that you see today or on any show on the website. Also go to our social media sites, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Be sure to use the hashtag the East Daily Download. Now, coming up next, we have a behind-the-scenes look at the new reboot of the Nancy Drew classic from the 70s and the 80s, this time reimagined by the producers of Riverdale on the CW. Let's take a look.
Dead Lucy. Horseshoe Bay's most infamous sea queen wore her crown for only one night. People say she still haunts our town. But I don't believe in ghosts. I believe in looking for the truth.
Drew! Clam chowder! Table 8!
Mysteries are everywhere, and I love solving them. But then life dropped a real mystery into my lap.
So what do you five have to say? I'm looking at town screw-up, ex-con, city girl, and Nancy Drew.
Why does he say your name like that?
She used to complicate my job.
You mean do it for you? A socialite killed on parade night. We have to solve this case fast.
In a case like this, you have to look to the husband.
You think that guy killed his wife and you break into his house?
What were you doing there, following me?
Help me, please, no.
Tiffany Hudson, murdered by a ghost.
Not just any ghost. Dead Lucy.
It's definitely her. Except definitely not.
Never had a murder pinned on it.
Unlike us.
I can't believe I missed the signs. The truth is, we all have secrets. Everyone is a suspect.
I have so many questions. Trying to prove her innocence is gonna end up making her guilty.
We know a good diet and weight are critical for heart health. Now, a new study shows even people who are already at a healthy weight can improve their risk of heart disease and diabetes.
Caloric restriction even in young people, even in normal weight people, can assist in reducing these markers that are predictive of future cardiovascular events. That's important.
Dr. Carl Pieper and researchers at Duke University Medical Center looked at 218 normal weight adults under 50 years old for 2 years. One group ate their usual diet. The other group was told to restrict calories, cutting about 300 calories a day on average. The study shows they lost about 10% of their body weight and significantly improved already good levels of blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, and other markers.
Well, it's not always easy to cut calories every day at first. Researchers say people in the study adapted over time and eventually needed fewer calories to feel full.
Just be cognizant of what you're eating, how you're eating, and the amount of calories that you're putting in.
Researchers say if you're looking to cut calories, reducing sugar and carbohydrates is a good place to start. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
Really, it's consistent with all the NFL and other colleges' policies of what they're doing right now. Obviously, the first couple games, people get used to it, but I think it gets us up to where we feel very secure in our stadium. At the end of the day, it's going to enhance our fan safety and I think our overall fan experience. I think they're going to get in quicker.
The East Daily Download is all about you. It's about local stories featuring local businesses. If you or your business would like to be featured, contact the sales team at WNCT. And be sure to watch new episodes weekday mornings at 7 on Eastern North Carolina CW.
It's the Kelly Clarkson Show. The Kelly Clarkson Show. The Kelly Clarkson Show. Wiki, wiki. Too much, little much. Kelly Clarkson Show. That's the Kelly Clarkson Show.
The Kelly Clarkson Show. Coming this fall to WNCT-9 on your side.
This is a show about real-world advice.
Your tools are saving my family.
I want to teach people with the power locked inside them.
Oh my God.
And unleash it and live the life they've dreamt of.
Having trouble getting or building credit, there are some surefire ways to build up a credit history to help get a loan or even be able to rent an apartment. Finance website NerdWallet recently listed 5 ways to establish credit. Number 1 was applying for a secured credit card. Capital One, Discover, and Citibank are among the companies that issue secured cards. Now, these cards are backed by a cash deposit you make up front, and your credit limit is usually the same amount as that deposit. Another option, apply for a secured loan, or what's called a credit builder loan. You essentially pay off the loan before the lender gives you the money, a good way to prove your credit worthiness. But NerdWallet says finding credit builder loans can be a little tricky. It recommends trying credit unions or community banks. And Experian Boost gives you a way to have your cell phone and utility bills reflected in your Experian credit report. and that lets you show positive history of on-time payments. You know, another option for building credit, become an authorized user on someone else's credit card. And there is always getting a co-signer to help you with a loan. For details on these and more tips on building credit history, check out the full story on nerdwallet.com.
Well, that is a wrap for this episode of the East Daily Download here on Eastern North Carolina CW. As always, you can find any of the stories you see today or in any of the shows at WNCT.com. Go to the East Daily Download tab and watch whatever you like. All the stories are there. Also, you can follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and use the hashtag the East Daily Download. So we will see you tomorrow, 7 a.m. on Eastern North Carolina CW. From the entire team, thank you, and we'll see you then.
The East Daily Download is all about you. It's about local stories featuring local businesses. If you or your business would like to be featured, contact the sales team at WNCT. And be sure to watch new episodes weekday mornings at 7 on Eastern North Carolina CW.